Hi there, it's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your collective Thanksgiving reading. Okay, so you're probably wondering, who is this person? Like, who am I? Um, you know, this person looks nothing like the picture. Well, that's funny you should think that because I used a filter because I thought it was like Thanksgiving themed, okay? And it aligned with my creative um, theme that I was going for, which is like orange and autumn leaves and golds and yellows and kind of like a auburn red. Um, so yeah, okay. So moving on from that, um, okay, I have a lot of Starbucks here. Moving on from that, we're going to get into your collective Thanksgiving reading. So first, I wanted to read to you this. Basically, it's a gem and it's a meditative, spiritual gem card, okay, for mindfulness, okay, from the mindfulness um, company. They send you some cards. Sometimes you can get these cards. So the gem is chrysocolla. Growth, empowerment, and stability. Element water and earth. Chakra heart. Chrysocolla is a breathtaking gem that simultaneously captures the calming essence of water and the stabilizing force of the earth. Its name originates from the Greek words for God, Christos, and glue, cola, and this gem is especially celebrated for its tranquil shades of blue and green. Its association with the heart chakra fosters self-empowerment and inner strength, aiding individuals in discovering their voice and expressing their truth. When to use it: to enhance communication, foster emotional balance, and strengthen your inner self. Where to put it: keep it in spaces where you engage in conversations or meditation. Special care: handle with care to preserve its beauty and avoid exposure to extreme temperatures or chemicals. Expressing my truth is liberating. I embrace it fearlessly. Okay, so you're really expressing yourself fully right now. Okay, you're not holding anything back. And I think that's really what's drawing in this star energy, okay? The star card. Because this woman is clearly like okay with being herself, being vulnerable. The stars are shining bright. She is pouring water into this pool of water. She's also pouring water onto the earth, which it really goes hand in hand with chrysocolla because chrysocolla is the element of water and earth. So water is really like your consciousness. It's your intuitive abilities. And the earth is that part of yourself that's more logical and more grounding. So giving into your emotional side more and giving into your grounding side more, balancing those two out is really what's going to get you through this Thanksgiving or this end of the month, November, whenever you're watching this, and go into December there. Okay. So, yeah, you've got a little bit of both here. You got the logical side and you've got the more emotional side. So I like to think of it in terms when it comes to tarot is because I feel like a lot of people, I feel like collectively there's this energy going around where there's a spiritual side to looking at life, and then there's like a psychological side to looking at life. And the spiritual side, I feel like, is more in tune with your emotions and your intuition and all of that blended into this beautiful, magnificent, like feelings and empathetic, soulful, believing in a soul, even, side to life. And then there's the more logical, practical side to life, which is more about like money, finances, materialism, logic, scientifically proven. And that's like more of the psychological side. And it's just like this blend, right, of both of those. And that creates the perfect harmony and the perfect balance. And what better not to represent that than the star? Okay, and alignment with your heart and what your heart wants, your chakra, your heart chakra. So really digging deep there and getting to the heart of the problem. Okay. And then I have this card for you. That one. Sorry. Not getting good vibes from that one. Express yourself through creativity. Praise his name with dancing accompanied by tambourine and harp. Psalm 149 verse 3. Now, I'm not a religious person. I have been like raised to believe in Christianity and read the Bible and believe in that religion. However, I like to explore all kinds of spiritual practices and look at different religions from different points of view. Most of the religions out there are mostly misogynistic based, but you never know. It could always be an energy, right? It could always be a feeling. So it depends who you are. So no judgment. But I do like this beautiful yourself through creativity card. Okay. And I was just happened to be drawn to these. And I think it's really beautiful energy. I mean, she's out there on the water in the moonlight dancing. There's all these like sparkly little ebbs of energy and of like, I feel like spiritual, like little spirits, of soulfulness and beautiful energy floating all around her. Um, it looks like she is maybe playing some kind of musical instrument, or she's weaving something, or maybe it's a little bit of both. She definitely is creating something here, something really beautiful. And I love how she's doing it at night with the moonlight illuminating her craft and her skills. Okay. And again, the star is also, again, that theme of moonlight, of starry night, wish fulfillment. Okay. Make a wish, right? Wish is coming true. Right? Like the Disney song, When You Wish Upon a Star, right? That song. No, just pretend I never did that because that's embarrassing. Honor your uniqueness. Okay. Speaking of embarrassment, honor your uniqueness. Okay. So a lot of people can twist uniqueness for weirdness or awkwardness. Now, there's nothing weird or awkward about someone expressing themselves authentically and in good energy and in good vibes. But I just feel like there's certain people in this world that are just like, oh my god, that person's expressing themselves, run away, they're being too creative, they're too weird. And then there's another group of people that is like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful and amazing, we should praise this. So there's two different types and groups of people, maybe two families, and you're trying to blend the two families together through the use of creativity and expression, and honoring your uniqueness. Now, this woman she's like floating above the water. She looks like she might be a mystical, magical princess. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. Psalm 139 verse 14. So we're in like the same psalms here, in the same little category here. So I just feel like if there's a lot of divine feminine energy going around right now, I feel like at this time. Like, okay. So that being said, I think that, with the moon and the stars, it's a lot of feminine energy. It's a lot of intuitiveness. It's a lot of spark and creativity and light, okay, coming through here. And then I have for you candles and magic. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I love candles. Okay, if you love candles, more than anything else in the world, post a little candle emoji in the comments so I know you watch this or something. But candles can offer so much warmth, and I love how candles can like eliminate like certain negative toxic energies and associations with those, Anyway, speaking of candles, I think candles are a great gift. If you're on like like a budget for holiday gifts, the dollar store these days sells, oh my gosh, so many good candles, especially Dollar Tree. Okay, I got like what I would say qualifies as like a candle worth at least $10-15. Toasted marshmallow scent. I got it for like $1.25. What? That's crazy, but I kid you not. Actually, you know what? Speaking of it, I'm going to show you my candle right now so you can know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Oh my god, it smells so good. Toasted marshmallow. Okay, $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Smells so freaking good. I wish you could smell it through the screen. Okay, it's so. Oh, I just love it. I actually just want to like light it right now. It smells so good. And then I got this one, cranberry mandarin spice. I just really love this scent, citrus cranberry spice, cranberry mandarin spice. It's so holiday fresh, and I love bows. I have ribbons. I don't know if you could tell by my videos, but I'm really into those. And look, this one has cute little red ones all around it. And this one I think was like around $5 or $6 at Walmart. Okay, so obviously more expensive, and but it does have the little cute ribbons on it. So, and these make for great like jars and stuff for later when you have like little things like I do. But yeah, I'm gonna like this toasted marshmallow for now because white signifies like purification. It signifies like a fresh, new, clean start. Um, and who doesn't like toasted marshmallow, right? So, that reminds me, I plan on doing sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top as one of the sides for Thanksgiving. And I forgot the marshmallows, but that's okay. So anyways, yeah, so maybe you're feeling a little bit like you have a lot on your plate because you have a lot of dishes to make and you have a lot of plates that, you're going to be cooking and putting food on. Or maybe you're somebody who doesn't do any cooking at all and you still feel like you are disconnected from like the feeling of Thanksgiving and the gratefulness because maybe you don't have anything to be grateful for. I don't know, but there's always something to be grateful for. I feel like my videos they're more for people who you know how to find joy and happiness in the world and sometimes need a little bit of boost of reminding themselves of all that joy and happiness in the world. I'm not really a tarot reader for like the negative types and the soulless types, uh, so not my readings aren't really for you if you have no soul. Okay, so I'm going to read you this. Throat chakra, okay? The throat chakra is centered on your throat. This chakra is associated with communication and honesty. When the throat chakra is blocked, you cannot speak your truth, which hinders your ability to connect and communicate with loved ones on a deeper level. Exercising your voice is a wonderful way to activate or clear the throat chakra. Find a comfortable private place to sit. Begin singing or chanting a favorite song, letting your voice fill the space. Don't hold anything back and enjoy the freedom and bliss of self-expression. Okay, and that's your throat chakra. So we're going from heart to throat chakra now, okay? What you're feeling in your heart now is being expressed through your voice. So if something's not feeling right, if something's not making sense to you, reach out here. We've got the cold moon. Reach out here to your spirit guides, your gods, your goddesses, source, spirit. Reach out to do your divine feminine side here, okay? It's time for you to really tune in to what is important to you. Okay, because I think if you're anything like me, you always are very like generous would be the term I would use to helping other people feel good. Okay, and sometimes you do this because you aren't feeling connected with yourself. Okay, and the reason why you're not feeling connected with yourself is because that's your sign to your body that you are giving too much and you need to take a step back and give less. Okay, for some of you it might be a little bit less, some of you might be a lot less. Okay, it really depends. But we also have here the villain line, health and safety. Healthy. This may indicate a need to pay attention to personal health and safety. Analyze refers to a potential health problems or accidental injuries in life, interference or exclusion at work, misunderstandings and betrayals in relationships, or obstacles in one's career. Okay, so I don't know about you, okay, but you can determine for yourself if you think you have a villain line or not. Okay. This doesn't mean that you're like a bad person, right? It just means that I feel like the more good you do, the worse you seem to be, right? And I don't mean that in the way where you're like bombarding anybody and you're just like dropping off energy and things that nobody asked you for. Like, no. I'm talking about someone who is like genuinely like kind and loving person and still continuously gets blamed for other people's problems, or people who have problems and don't want to deal with them, you get the blame for it. Right? You're not creating problems, you're not creating chaos, but you're being blamed for someone else's chaos or somebody else's problems, their personal chaos. Because we all have our own definition of chaos. Okay. Now, when it comes to love, this person, it could be a significant other, they want you to know, I struggle with revealing my true feelings and emotions, but I love you more than you think. Okay. So if you're questioning or wondering why someone isn't showing up in your love life right now, it's because of this. Okay, because they're struggling right now. The reason why they're struggling to reveal their true feelings and emotions is because they might be operating from a more logical standpoint. Okay, they might not be really in tune with you as you would like them to be, right? So for a minute, just forget they exist. No, I know, easier said than done. But just for a minute, forget they exist and focus on you. Okay? Because I see the devil energy, the four of swords, and the knight of swords, and the page of cups. Okay? This is all happening in your dream world right now. Okay? The devil's at your doorstep visiting you. Okay? He comes with red wings, to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Okay? So you don't need to have someone physically there with you in order to know that they love you or they care about you. You also don't need them to always constantly be in tune with you. Okay? Because I just feel like that's just like almost nearly close to impossible. Like maybe you can have someone physically there with you and feel safe and secure, or you could have someone physically there with you and not feel safe and secure, or you could have somebody far, far away but feel completely connected to them, or you can have someone far, far away and not feel connected to them at all. There's always some kind of parallel. There's always some kind of paradox. And I feel like for the sake of the holidays, and, just try not to think about that so much. Try to emotionally detach yourself from whatever this connection is in regarding like love and soulmate and all of that. You can go back and on my playlists, I made soulmate readings for every sign. Okay, so if you want to know more in depth about you personally and your soulmate connection, you want to get a more clear understanding, look up your sun sign, star sign, moon sign, sun rising sign, whatever sign you connect with the most, and watch that video. Okay, and whatever you're being called to, maybe it's your soulmate's sign, I don't know, but just watch the video and just like really immerse yourself in that feeling for that time. Okay, and then when that's over, when that video is over, go back to focusing on yourself and what you need to do, and how you can make yourself feel inner love and inner peace. And I learned this lesson pretty recently, actually, and I'm still like wrapping my head around it. But there's someone in my life who I do love very deeply and I do care for very deeply, but they're emotionally like, not there. Okay. They're emotionally detached from romantic gestures and being in love and soulmate connection. They're not there. They're not on the same wavelength as me at all. And that's fine. But in order for my own peace and my own inner love and inner peace, I have to accept it and detach from it. And that's the healthiest choice that you can make for yourself. Okay. Of course, I question and wonder what's going on all the time, but not all the time as in every second of the day. I just give myself the space I need to think about it, and then I move on. 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, I move on. Okay. So you do you do what you got to do. But getting back into what's coming, okay, for uh, the end of November, Thanksgiving, December, we got the Three of Cups, okay? We've got a time for celebration. We've got the three women, the three sisters, the three best friends, maiden, mother, crone. We've got it all here, okay? And they're celebrating. They're drinking cups of wine, or if you don't drink wine, whatever. But they're having a good time. They're celebrating here because it is a time for celebration. It is a time for welcoming in the good spirits and the good vibes and the good energy. It's a beautiful time, okay? And I think that when you allow yourself to immerse yourself in that, this Four of Swords, this is a time of rest, of retirement. Okay. So this woman, she lays in the cool of the pool. Like she lays herself flat down by the water or in the water, but she's not immersed fully. And I feel like because consciously you can't immerse yourself fully in too many emotions right now, because the holidays always bring up, the most in people, the most emotions, the most feelings. It all comes like a full circle moment where everyone's like, oh, it's the holidays? Time to express myself, right? And I think it's good to express yourself, but in healthy ways and in creative, healthy ways, not destructive ways, but in healthy, creative ways. Okay. So maybe this is like a new learned concept for some people. Well, for you, it's always been there. It's always been inside you. You've always known how to create safe spaces. You've always known how to deal with your emotions in healthy ways. You also know the difference between not doing that. And I think what's happened here is that, with the Knight of Swords coming in, yeah, it's like there's a major force of strength and willpower that needs to come fully there for you. Like it needs to come forward, more. I think you're working on it, you're working towards it, you have a goal in mind, you want to achieve it, and it's happening, right? So it's interesting how one is very calm, relaxed, resting, and then the next is forward, riding on a horse. This man is literally riding on a horse. Like that horse is in like full speed ahead mode, okay? So, there's a time for rest and then there's a time to speed ahead, right? So you're finding that maybe the feelings and the emotions that you are having are motivating you toward that goal that you have in mind. But you have to come into yourself first and really see it like, this is my schedule, this is my routine, this is my time, this is how I operate. I have my moments of relaxation and calmness and quietness and stillfulness and mindfulness and meditation and all of that. But I also have my time where I need to like full speed ahead, charge ahead. Okay. My energy is, fully reloaded. I'm ready to go. And then my energy is depleted and I'm ready to let go. Okay. And the Page of Cups, there's the, face of death looking at this mermaid with two faces. And it's like these two women are merged together into one, and she's a mermaid in a giant cup. In a giant vast universe, we do sort of sit in our feelings quite a lot. We do sit in our emotions quite a lot. Okay. I'm picking up on maybe like some Piscean Capricorn energy. I think there's these two women. I don't think it could be you and someone else, or it could be just two other women. I don't know. Or it could be a feminine energy. But I feel like for this in particular card, it's like one woman faces death, but she almost like doesn't want to look at it directly because she's looking away, basically. She doesn't want to look directly into the eyes of death. She doesn't want to fully embrace the transformation right before her eyes. And then this other woman is clearly turned away. And I feel like one woman is accepting of it but she's also a little bit hesitant and like not sure, but like trying, like slowly inching closer to it. And then the other woman is fully like rejecting it. Okay. Um, and it's definitely a card of feelings. It's definitely a card of high tension, high emotions. Um, the fabric, the fabric of universe can easily be torn by death, by trauma. Okay. And I'm feeling like a trauma energy with this card. So someone could be going through a traumatic experience, a triggering experience. It's happening very deeply on a subconscious level. Okay. But I don't think consciously it's being dealt with. So it's almost like they're trying to bury it deep, not trying, no pun intended there, but they're trying to bury something deep within themselves when really they need to face it outwardly and express it, and not be so back and forth about it, or two-faced. I'm getting like two-faced or two-sided, you know. King of Pentacles, a practical material man who understands the value and worth of a dollar. Not many of those exist in the world, right? Eight of Pentacles. Okay, this is again. There's a woman like on this board here, some kind of weird contraption. I have no idea what that is. And then there's pentacles floating through this universe with fish bones. And then there's a woman here sitting by, like she is sitting in like wonderment of what is going on. What is this device with a face on it, a figure? Okay. I feel like you're listening to your ancestors, or you're listening to the past. Something to do with, again, it's you're crafting something here, that I feel like your ancestors have passed down onto you. Ancient machines and tools and technology that you really weren't like, around, or you really weren't familiar with, but these are like ancient practices, that have been passed down to you. Again, with the fish, I feel like this is like a Piscean energy. So maybe some of you know a Pisces or have Pisces in your chart. And I think it's coming down to like avoidance. The skeletons, to me, the skeleton bones of the fish, because it's not the whole fish, it's just the bones of it. I think the bones of these certain people are almost like, you can look at it in two different ways. I think in one version, your ancestors are like showing you the signs you need to watch for and listen to. And then in the other essence, I think it's people avoiding watching the signs and listening and trusting their ancestors and their guides. So it's like you're over here trusting in spirit and source, and you're in tune with your spirituality, and then you're being pulled back into a logical, psychological energy that's really not like, I think there's like a healthy way to do that, and then there's like the unhealthy way, and you're seeing a lot of the unhealthy ways that's being practiced. So it's like you're witnessing how other women deal with issues, or how other men deal with issues, and you're starting to see where you align and starting to see where you don't align. Okay. And I also feel like there's a double standard. Like you're allowed to be that person that gets invited to events, but when you have an event, these people don't have to show up because you're not as important. Your event isn't as important, or you don't need the support or something like that. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of like synchronicity with that. And the Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, I mean, he's not, if he's being practical with his money, I think that's all good and fun. But I think if he's not being practical with his money, you have a little bit of this energy going on, which I think is like the Page of Pentacles. This man, he has no shoes. He's has a basket out to collect coins. He's playing a flute for money. Or is that a clarinet? I'm not sure. And then he has like a hat with a hole, and it's like the top of his hat is like up and not on properly. It's like destroyed. Okay, so you don't want that. You don't want like this guy playing music or songs or trying to serenade you. I think we're like tipping the scale back into like, yeah, ritual invocation. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to really work on your rituals and your invocation, like the spiritual side of yourself, connecting with the other soulful members of your tribe, your other soul family, your soul sisters, because there's definitely some men here that are like contradicting strength. Yeah. They're trying to use your own strength and your own transformation against you. See how the snake wraps around her, almost suffocating her like an anaconda? She has no mouth. She can't speak, right? Trapped in the universe. She's holding a key here, so she can clearly escape if she chooses. The death and the transformation of cracking through the egg with the snake, it's like that's supposed to be like an exciting new phase in your life. That's supposed to be a beautiful, creative, loving, accepting, supported process. But what's happening is that on a very deep subconscious level, a lot of these energies are trying to keep you from your transformation, use their own issues, their own refusal of transformation as like a weapon against you. Okay. I am afraid for getting too serious. I was hurt before. Okay. Well, if they're afraid of getting serious with you, like, I don't think you hurt them. I think this is somebody else that hurt them, and they're weaponizing that as well, because their transformation requires them to let go of whoever hurt them in the past, stop being with that person, and start being with you. But they don't want to do that. Okay, so that's a problem because you hold this key here. Okay, this woman, she holds the key here. Okay. All she needs to do is basically break free from the other emotional weight of those trying to suffocate her. Okay? We got the Empress energy. Okay? The mothering, loving, nurturing, kind, generous soul. Okay? We've got the Hermit, and we've got the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands. Okay, yeah. People here expect too much of you. They're really like saying, oh, well, you can do this, you can handle this because you did this and this and this, whatever. It's like, no, I'm not going to handle anything unless I want to handle it, right? So that can be, some people don't like that, right? People need to be able to hold their own emotional weight, okay, and not hand it off to you. Okay, so again, the Empress energy. I want to emphasize like the mother archetype here, the creator, okay? But I feel like if you're literally a mom, I feel like that can be used against you, right? By certain types of people who want you to be loving and nurturing and kind and create something with them, but they aren't willing to create with you. It's you creating. And they're just trying to take credit for it, right? Or they're just trying to like say that what you've done with your life is insignificant, okay? That's just cruel and insane, okay? So, like, on an emotional point of view, that's cruel, and then on a psychological point of view, that's completely and totally insane, okay? So, that being said, it's like the Hermit energy comes out here because there's definitely yourself here talking to you. Okay, holding a candle here, holding a light here towards you. You can see here, this woman is holding a candle and speaking through like the fog and the clouds and the consciousness here and telling herself, telling you what you need to hear right now. Okay, it's that you are blossoming, it's you are growing here. This woman is sitting on top of like tree branches. There's some riding in the tree, and she's dressed, in like a pretty, maybe going out fancy dress. The tree is growing out of water, and there's no leaves on the tree. It's completely bare. And then there's branches growing out of her hair with little lights on the top. Okay, so it's very clear to me that you are very insightful. Okay, and that you are growing and you are learning, even when you feel bare, even when you feel empty, even when all the leaves have fallen off the trees. Okay, you are still there. Okay, even when it seems like all hope is lost, you are still there. You are still there to love yourself. You are still there to be loved. And that is what, this other version of you, this other shadow side of you, this other um, inner consciousness is telling you, is there is still a light burning for you. You are still that light. You can still create that fire and that spark. Okay? The Empress, I love how she holds like a wand here in her hand. Okay? Almost like I'm getting like, it's almost like reminds me of like the Statue of Liberty with a torch in her hand, right? This is an eternal flame. This is an eternal torch that burns, that never is out. Okay? It keeps lighting the way. It keeps paving the pathway forward. It keeps showing you the future and what lies ahead. Okay? So, gathering up your strength, gathering up your resources, we have the High Priestess. Okay? We have the black and white pillars here. Okay? And her writing, her scroll here says Torah on it. Okay? So you are learning new ways of dealing with the same old problems, right? Because the way you resolved these problems in the past, it might have been a different person, same lesson. It might have been a different environment, same lesson. It might have been a different, I don't know, thing, or whatever it is, problem. But it's still a similar lesson here you're learning. It's like how to deal with certain issues with people. And you have the Empress and the High Priestess together as a team to show you the way forward, trusting in your intuition. So I feel like a lot of people will operate in the gray area of life, which means like, oh, it's not good or it's not bad. It's not ethical or unethical. It's just a way, a means of survival. In a game setting, in a place where, everyone gets to like the show Survivor, everyone gets a fair shot of chance and luck and endurance and socializing and all of that. Cool, great. But when it comes to like families and relationships, because I'm definitely picking up on like two families here, okay, and the blending of families, you have miracles in the dark, okay? The darkness representing, your subconscious, your inner desires that you don't really necessarily always tap into and understand, but are there. In the darkness, in the darkest moments, it's easy to feel lost and alone. When you stay focused on the light, you'll receive blessings beyond your wildest dreams. A lot of these family members, they're not acting like family, okay? They're not. And, they're being toxic AF. They're making everything chaotic. They're making everything about them. They're making everything emotionally out of control, okay? They're not using healthy ways of dealing with issues. They're not seeking out guidance and help from mentors and professionals. They're just in the middle. They're operating in the gray. And it's okay, for some people to do that in certain settings if that is a means of survival, let's say. But I think that's what's happening to their brains. Is like they're in survival mode. They're not in living life mode. And that's why they keep creating this chaos over and over and over and over again. And if you're watching, a reality TV show, a challenge where there's challenges and, people win prizes, that can be very entertaining. And these people actively chose to participate in that and be a part of that and try to win money. But if it's like, this is real life here. We're not on a reality TV show. We're in the world where we live. This is our place of living. This is where we dwell. This is where we want to spend Thanksgiving. And there's too much of this gameplay going on. You want to not be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. You want to step away from it and say, well, you can go play your games over there with yourselves. Have fun with that. And I'm going to go over here to where there's no games being played and everybody is being real with each other and being honest with each other and supporting each other, and where everyone is being healthy and loving and kind. And if you're not being loving and kind, then you can exit stage left to stage right. Pick your choice. Pick your poison. Okay, so miracles are happening. And now the Empress, I'm a high priestess, okay? So they are aligning here. They are working together here to bring forth that they're crossing the subconscious messages and downloads you're getting, because you really feel like you need to stay maybe stuck in this hidden world that the hermit dwells in. But the Empress and the high priestess pull the hermit out of the shadows and out of the hidden world and into the material world where they can dwell and live and prosper. But it's a bridge. It's a bridge between the subconscious and the dream realm, and how you feel and what you see, and how it would never happen in real life, but you feel it really happening in your dreams. That's a scene that actually happened. Okay, you actually felt it, you actually witnessed it, you actually saw it. The Empress and the High Priestess, they're like, we're gonna pull you out of the dream world, okay, where you're having the worst dreams ever, more like nightmares, okay, and nurture you and love you and show you the intuition and the creativity and the visionary and putting it all into the world and outside of yourself and gaining something from it, okay? Instead of it being your hindrance and keeping you from your prosperity and your abundance, it's going to be something that propels you toward it, okay? And also we have, okay, the miracles in the dark, yes, and the Queen of Wands, yes, okay? So you're walking in faith here. You're walking in truth here, okay? She has bows and an arrow, bows and arrows. She has a bow and arrows, okay? She's being pulled into a new light, into a new direction, into a new phase in her life, okay? I'm getting Sagittarius energy, okay? Sag energy. And then the Queen of Pentacles. You've got all your queens here, really, okay? So there's a lot of really strong feminine energy in this reading, because it's showing you the women you can trust in your life, the women you can't trust in your life, the ones who are in tune with divine feminine energy, the ones who support you, who want to get to know you, who are incorporated into your world and into your life, and you feel safe and secure around, versus the ones you don't, okay? And I feel like the men, we're not even going to get there right now, because they're already saying, I'm afraid for getting too serious, blah, 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 but I still love you. Spare me. Ugh. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands, okay? So this is this key that unlocks this portal, that opens this door, and you can see through the keyhole. It's really super up close. You can see what's inside, and there's a woman inside, and she is, you have the Queen of Wands and you have the Ace of Wands, and she is using her wand, her cauldron. She's an alchemist, apothecary, I don't know, I'm just throwing out fancy words, but yeah, she's, creating quite a good potion here that's going to, almost like a truth serum, okay? That's going to be ready to go, and it's happening for you. It's not happening so that you have to worry so much and stress so much about the holidays and family disputes and drama and chaos and people's personalities. You know, I feel like I have like super rare family members, right? Like that no one else has, rare personalities that nobody else has in their family, okay? Nobody has had the level of betrayal by family members that I've ever experienced in my life other than myself. But I know that's not true because I've read stories and I've watched reality shows where there's friends and family members and spouses that have betrayed each other, that have backstabbed each other, you know. And the list goes on and on. So I know I'm not the only one. But because Thanksgiving can have all this momentum building up to it, it's like, what's going to actually happen? I can already say that what's going to happen is that you are going to have a creative, beautiful, loving, peaceful space to enjoy your holiday with those that love you and that you love and that you feel supported by and that you support. Anyone else that doesn't support you, doesn't love you, doesn't respect you, they're not going to be there because they don't belong there in your space. So don't allow them in your space. Set your boundaries, set your expectations. It's your space, it's your time, it's your energy, and then move forward. So wrapping this all up, we've got the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, so again, you're like this woman. She's sitting on this horse holding her cup, and she's walking through a field of like golden flowers, like orbs, like light light orbs. Like it's just like a beautiful overall energy. Okay, she's very like just free spirited, not stressing, not worrying about things. It's time for you to just not worry and stress so much. Just the emotions that you can contain for yourself and hold within yourself are going to have you on the right path moving forward, and those do not are going to be released and let go of. And the King of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Okay, I feel like for you, because you got the Ace of Wands here and you have the Queens, a lot of the Queens here, um, you know, it's really time for you to, if you are looking to date someone or be in alignment with someone, they have to, absolutely have to, be like kind and loving and supportive and really awaken your spirit and your creativity and that chemistry and that spark and that passion, because if those things aren't in alignment, it's not going to feel like a great relationship, because this person is not being passionate, not being loving, not being kind. Okay, they have to be able to weather the storms, they have to be have their own emotions, and they also have to be able to support you when you're going through things too. So there has to be a fair give and take. All right, so wrapping this all up, my high vibes heal the world. Okay, so there's the planet Earth with the ring around it, the rainbow ring around it. Okay, and so yes, we all live on this planet Earth, and we all have to learn to get along with each other and all of that. But also, the rainbow really represents love and hope. And for the sake of Thanksgiving and the holidays ahead, just remember that your good vibrations, your good energy, your positive outlook on life, and your love for yourself and your hope for yourself is really what's going to get you through Thanksgiving, and it's going to get you through the days ahead into December. So just keep on working on your inner peace, your inner love, your inner light, and trusting in your intuition, okay, and nurturing yourself, and remembering when it's time to stop giving so much and start really channeling more energy into yourself, so that you have a sense of peace and calmness about you. Okay, so that's my message for you for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving all, and love and light always. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.